All right. Chad Valdez coming at you for another edition, another segment right here on the Chad Valdez YouTube channel. On a Monday, January the 15th, 2024, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to everyone out there, especially to his big tree of a family. Everything that he stood for, everything that he did, everything that he was a voice for, a very impactful and powerful man. So at this day, obviously his day, in observance and remembrance of him. And may God rest his soul. So coming at you on the day after Dallas Cowboys playoff loss, 48-32 to the Green Bay Packers. First and foremost, credit and congratulations to the Green Bay Packers, the team, the coaches, the players, front office staff, and the whole damn town, and can you call it city, but the whole town of Green Bay, Wisconsin. I guess you can't, can you do this now on paper and everything? That the Dallas Cowboys are a better team record-wise and all of that, but it's not about the best team. It is about the team that plays the best. And obviously the Green Bay Packers play a hell of a lot better than my Dallas Cowboys did yesterday afternoon at Jerry World, AT&T Stadium, the Palace in Dallas, is JT the Brick via Bad Dog Sports Radio, and also his own YouTube channel at JT the Brick YT, I believe is what it is. So subscribe to that if you don't, and also subscribe to this one right here. In just a moment, I'll also drop the other sports talk platform that I do have, and a large part of this, or all of this, is going to be NFL Wild Card Super Weekend, something like that. And you got the postponement game of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills that's going on right now. As soon as I'm conducting this, I'm going to start watching that again. And an outside cold game, obviously. It is absolutely mind-boggling to see what the city of Buffalo, Orchard Park, and they had to ask residents of the town to help them. I guess there's not enough manpower there that works at the stadium, and not enough manpower on the Buffalo Bills organization to get everything cleaned up. So, you got to love football a whole lot to just sit there for 3.5 hours in bitter cold. Obviously, there's the storm was passing through the eye of the storm, whatever. At the time, it was going to be kickoff yesterday of that game, and so it made sense to postpone it. Obviously, it seems like it was a colder game there in Kansas City between the Chiefs and the Dolphins on Saturday night. But the storm was passed or whatever. There was no big breaking storm. It was still bitter cold. Digress on that part. So the large part of this is going to be about the Dallas Cowboys loss to the Green Bay Packers. So before I get to that, really quickly, one thing that I do want to give a shout out to is two teams and their two coaches. That's obviously the Houston Texans beating the Cleveland Browns. I picked the Cleveland Browns to win that. I just thought they were a better team. The resurgence of Joe Flacco, that guy has been throwing some interceptions a lot. Now, I really can't be talking because my guy, he's still my guy, Dak Prescott, and he's been uncharacteristic to throw interceptions this season of 23, and I'll get into that here in just a moment. But I just thought that, with the stingy defense they have in Cleveland, wasn't very stingy versus the Texans, and, I just thought that Cleveland was going to win. So congratulations to the Texans as well. And also to their head coach, D'Amico Ryan, coming in as the first-year head coach with the Texans, his former team as well that he played for, and a rookie quarterback with C.J. Stroud. He's going to get Rookie of the Year, no doubt about that. And also a fellow Texas native himself, and that is Dan Campbell, head football coach for the Detroit Lions, former Texas A&M tight end and graduate, played under R.C. Slocum, Big 12 championship winner during his day, and also former Dallas Cowboy and Detroit Lion tight end. So a Glen Rose, Texas native, small town of Glen Rose, about an hour and a half, maybe about 2 hours southwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. I go through that little town every single time I go to my hometown, Brownwood, and just to see how a guy that grew up in a very small community, even smaller back then, and can coach at the highest level, that's so impressive. That's a really, really good story. So you got everybody in that community, big-time Detroit Lions fans, especially now since the Cowboys are out. So I wanted to shine a little light on that, and I would love to see Dan Campbell get NFL Coach of the Year. It's his third year there with Detroit, and if things did not go well his first season, 2022 season is when things weren't going well, but they ended up the second half of the season playing very well. Remember, they had that victory over the Green Bay Packers to have them not go to the playoffs because the Detroit Lions were knocked out or not eligible to get in. So, but I believe it's going to go to D'Amico Ryan. I mean, that's just unheard of. A first-year coach in his career, I do believe, and a first-year coach there. His first-year coach in all. First year there with Houston with the rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud. And they hosted a playoff game, and now they're going to have another one. So he just very well may get NFL Coach of the Year. But it's going to become down to the wire, down the stretch that will come. So the latter part of this, the remaining 6 minutes, if you want, try to keep this at 10 minutes, if you will, as I do a much, much longer sports talk, straight 35 to 40-minute sports talk. Sometimes I do have a guest on. I got a couple of guests coming on. Head football coach for the Houston Christian Huskies there at Houston Christian University. Brownwood, Texas native himself, Jason Bachtel, new head football coach there. And also a returning guest that is going to be Mark Janko, Dallas Stars assistant general manager, friend of the program. Most recent guest was a repeat guest that was Lifford Hobley, longtime NFL alumni president for the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter. And I got other guests in the works as well. So, and that is via Apple Podcasts, The Bro Talk with Chad Valdez, where you can find that much more in-depth sports talk. So last night, as I was writing down my respective perspective thoughts, the first thing I wrote down, and you can find this on my Twitter handle, @TheChadValdez, is that first and foremost, give credit to and congratulate the Green Bay Packers on the win. Number two, I felt really good about my Dallas Cowboys going into the game. Let me just go ahead and I have it right here. This is my respective perspective. So I didn't want to leave anything out. I felt good and positive of the Cowboys' chances going into the game. This is what it looks like right here with my Herbie Hancock. So felt good and positive Cowboys' chances going into the game. Packers were in sync from the get-go. First drive of the game was a touchdown with ease, and they drained half of the first quarter when they had the ball the first drive. Other two offensive TDs scored with ease as well. Packers played with a chip on their shoulder flawlessly and executed well. Cowboys offense played with a pressure on their shoulders. Defense played timid and nervous. Dan Quinn's defense could not stop the run, could not stop the pass, and I still will continue to not trust Dan Quinn, and I do not trust his defense. Defense had no answer, suspect all game, gave up big plays, huge plays. Three of the four Packers' first half possessions were touchdowns, just one punt. Packers did not turn the ball over. Cowboys had two. Yes, I admit, that's my man Prescott's interceptions. Offense was off, extremely off. Nothing clicked, and too late when it did. The two turnovers were very costly, especially the pick six, the quick slant to C.D. Lamb. That finally came back to haunt Dak, as a majority of the season, the seasons before, he has threaded the needle, and it's majority of the time it's worked successful. Not this time. Looked like it was a cover one and a man cover one with a QB spy. Give credit to Savage. He was a savage and returned it for a pick six. First interception, looks like Cook didn't make the best running route. I'm just seeing what my eyes are telling me. Packers defensive back had the advantage. Packers set the tone early and made a statement. And the Dallas Cowboys did not match or raise it. So that was my respective perspective coming after the game. The loss, I just can't believe it. I'm going to have much more of an on-air sports talk commentary coming up tomorrow morning, January the 16th. I invite and encourage you to tune into it. That'll be available come late morning by early afternoon tomorrow. That guest may be able to squeeze in. It depends on if they're going to have time frame to do it or not. But definitely by late week, I'm going to have returning guests, and that is going to be Mark Janko, Assistant General Manager for the Dallas Stars. As always, everybody, tell a family member, tell a friend. And until next time, I will catch you on the next segment. This is the Chad Valdez YouTube channel.